Coming up, Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya are set to face off for the fourth time in what promises to be yet another thrilling chapter in their iconic rivalry. Hometown favourite Jorge Masvidal looks to make one last run at the belt, and he faces off against Brazilian finisher Gilbert Burns. Fan favourite fighters Adrian Yanez, Kevin Holland, and Raul Rosas Jr. also feature at UFC 287. My name is Frank Bonada, here for the MMA stream. Joining me today, we have a guest. Mohammed's not here, so Murdo Todd is filling in. Former colleague of mine. We used to work together at a different media outlet. And we're going to be breaking down UFC 287, which is, this massive Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira rematch or the fourth fight in their sort of combat sports rivalry. Murdo, how's it going today, mate? And how are you feeling about this upcoming card?
Yeah, I'm good. I think you meant to say very special guest, but I'm very good. I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I feel it's crept up on us a little bit, but yeah, it's a good card, top to bottom. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Very special guest. The first guest we've had on the show so far. So yeah, of course you're very special, mate. Right, this fight. It's an interesting one. It's a fun one for us to talk about because we're both in very different camps in terms of who we like in this. Adesanya is a slight favorite once again, but I feel like that almost, just based on the history, does that even matter anymore? Obviously, Pereira has 3 wins, one of which was maybe not controversial, but it's fair to say that it was close enough that could have gone either way. That was the initial decision in kickboxing, but then he knocks him out in the second fight in kickboxing, which was just brutal. It's one where there's footage of Izzy needing oxygen to get back up, and then obviously the fight for the UFC middleweight title where Pereira dethroned Adesanya in the final round of their 5-round fight that Adesanya was winning. I've alluded to it. Tell me why you think Alex Pereira is going to do this again, mate.
Well, I think Pereira's the better kickboxer, and I think he'll be able to make the better adjustments going into this one. You could say you can say he's not, but he's knocked him out twice. It's 3-0 realistically. He's knocked him out twice. You'll be able to make the adjustments. And people talking about Israel's grappling, is he going to keep him there? Is he going to keep against the fence? I don't think he's got the submission offense to really trouble Pereira. I think Pereira's so physically strong and very athletically gifted. I think Adesanya will really struggle to keep him down and have be effective in his grappling. And like the last one, I said to Frank, I think 25 minutes is so long to be in there with Pereira. He will find the chin, and it's like he has this Deontay Wilder-esque power where it's like it doesn't even make sense, but he finds the target and he's a clinical finisher. And he can finish, he's got good elbows, knees, kicks, solid leg kicks. I know Israel was winning the last fight up until the moment he got knocked out in the final round, but I don't see what. I get it, but I think it'll be the same as last time, if not quicker. I think he probably knocks him out.
Right. Well, one thing we do sort of agree on is at least the sort of the grappling aspect of the matchup. Let's be real, they're both former kickboxers. That is both their bread and butter, and I think maybe Adesanya probably is probably the better offensive grappler, but not by a huge margin, I don't think, just because it's not his bread and butter. It's not his go-to. And if he tries to pursue a wrestling heavy game plan, I think that's going to lead him probably to bank a round or two, but then to start gassing and struggling in that way, which I think could maybe lead to another late finish. I think it's a good idea to mix in a little bit like he did last time, where one round decided to put in some grappling, but for that to be his league game plan, I think would be an awful idea. I just think he needs to pressure Pereira. Like he's not very good defensively. When you say like, oh, You think Pereira's a better kickboxer? I think he probably is in aspects of the game, right? But I think,
But do you think if they had a kickboxing match right now, Israel would win?
um, I- the thing is, I don't think the past results they don't really impact that decision that much because even in the second fight when he got knocked out, he was beating Pereira. He hurt him. He even had
Yeah,
a standing 10 count. Um,
yeah.
so it's like I don't think I could say with certainty on either side that I think one guy would win or the other because I think Adesanya is the more well-rounded mixed martial artist, maybe even the more well-rounded kickboxer. But like you say, Pereira has the kiss of death. He goes forward. His gas tank looked pretty good in the
Yeah,
last one. Like you said, I think one thing that people aren't talking about enough is the leg kicks because that's kind of what Izzy's saying. Like his peroneal nerve in his leg got hit and his leg went dead, and
of course it was.
that led to the eventual TKO. I don't know. It's just this is it for Izzy. Like if he loses this, it's
But
done.
this, but we have situations like this all the time. Like Usman Edwards, we're like, oh, but he's because he was this before. Like realistically, before the Pereira fight, I think Israel looked pretty flat in his recent, like in the
Yeah.
performances. There wasn't anything. The Costa one, I think, was the peak of Israel in the UFC.
Hmm.
Like, is he going to go back to that? I don't think so. And I think also another thing is like I don't think Israel's really accepted what happened last time. It was like you get all these excuses. Oh, it was my leg. Oh, the
Yeah.
referee jumped in. But in actual fact, you got caught and then you got knocked out. And it's like it wasn't like Pereira was getting beaten up. He wasn't cut. I know he was stunned in the first, but the first round was pretty competitive up to then. It wasn't like he was being.
No, he
Adesanya was
was hurt
banking
bad.
rounds.
He was hurt bad. Like,
The last foot at the bell, but then after that he recovered. He was
yeah,
fine, and he banked around with the grappling, but it wasn't like oh Pereira was stunned and wobbled and
yeah.
dropped. I think he'll be able to make the adjustments. And listen, these guys have been with each other so many. They know
Mm,
each other very very well. So it's like I think it's the little adjustments that maybe you or I maybe don't see or stuff like that we go in well.
what you
You
say?
know,
My 8 years of karate
No, but
doesn't.
just just in terms of this one, it'll be the little things. Who can and it'll be very tactical battle. I think they'll have their own game plans going in, but
Hmm,
I don't think. Again, I think the gas. I don't think these guys will want to grapple. I think it will really
yeah,
diminish the gas tank.
I agree. Yeah, that's one thing we agree on at least.
Yeah,
It's just at the end of the day, I think both men do have the tools to defeat the other. If you know what I mean, Pereira has the bigger one punch factor, absolutely. But
yeah,
I think Adesanya probably has more tools at his disposal, just in general. He has a wide variety of.
yeah. But
Uh,
I don't think some of them are. I think he's the better grappling, but it's not going to win him the fight.
I'm
You
not.
know.
I'm talking about in the striking exchanges. I think he just
Okay,
has
yeah.
more to
He's
him.
versatile, isn't he? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. But again, that's equaled out, I guess, with the crazy power that Pereira possesses. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So how do you think this affects Adesanya if he loses? He's a big one of his big motivating factors has always been legacy, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And if he loses this, that's 4 losses to one guy. Can he ever be considered up there with the likes of Silva, who's his own idol, if he loses this fight?
No, I don't think even if he won this fight, he would be on the level of Silva. To
Well,
be
I think he
honest, I
could
think
reach it, right? If he
you
carried
think,
on
yeah,
winning
but
and
he'd
defending.
need to win this and a few more, to be
Yeah, yeah,
honest.
yeah, absolutely. But like,
I don't. I think from where he goes from here, if he loses, does he fight Robert Whittaker again? Probably not. I don't know.
Gamza,
It's as long as, but then
match him at
it
Strickland.
depends if. Yeah. See,
Apex main event against Sean Strickland.
yeah, maybe he just goes for fun fights, big fights. He's
Yeah.
made enough money, so
Oh yeah.
listen, I don't. It's hard. It really depends if Alex continues to be champion because
Yeah.
if Israel wins this or if Israel loses this and then Alex moves up, then it still opens it up and he goes, well, you still have, oh, he's very big and he's clearly a natural light heavyweight, so he's still got the option to kind of be in amongst it.
Imagine if Adesanya loses to Pereira, decides, right, you know what, I'm going to go up to light heavy,
heavy.
light heavyweight, and then Pereira goes up as well.
I'll move it up.
Honestly, well, he's going to move up. That like Glover Teixeira has pretty much confirmed that Pereira is moving up. That would be horrendous.
I don't think
he literally could oust Adesanya from the sport. Essentially, he could send him to Bellator or any other outside promotion.
Yeah, I don't think Israel will move up though if he loses. I think most good light heavyweights beat Israel, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he is just a bit undersized, isn't he? Like,
yeah,
he's not quite. We saw what happened with Blachowicz. Still fancy him to give Jamal Hill a run for his money. Let's. I mean, it's a great main event. It is.
It really is.
It's great that we can have these sort of back and forth debates. That's what you want from a title fight main event, because
a bit of discussion, a bit of controversy with it. It's fun. It's going to be a fun fight, though.
Exactly. Because for so long with Adesanya as champion, it was just like, well, yeah, obviously he's going to beat Jared Cannonier or whoever, Marvin Vettori a second time. Imagine if this was Adesanya versus Sean Strickland in a title fight main event. It'd just be like, I don't care. Like, why? Yeah. But yeah, it's fascinating. Unfortunately, at least in my mind, I think the co-main event is a bit more cut and dry. Gilbert Burns is taking on Jorge Masvidal. Obviously, Masvidal is going to be the home crowd favorite in this one. Miami's own. However, he is 38 years old. Ranked number 11 on a 3-fight losing streak that included that brutal KO loss to Kamaru Usman. Burns, on the other hand, is coming off a win over Neil Magny in Brazil. Prior to that, lost to Khamzat by decision, giving Khamzat Chimaev the toughest fight of his career to date, and a decision win over Stephen Thompson, which I think, considering Thompson's performance against Kevin Holland recently, that's a good win to have on the resume. I mean, yeah, like I say, I back Burns quite heavily in this one, but what about yourself? What's your read?
Yeah, so do I. I think a bit too fresh for Masvidal now. I think he's like, I think when it comes to the grappling exchange, I think Masvidal will be found wanting in this one. I think he'll be a bit lost. I'm not saying that, Masvidal's decent defensively and avoiding submissions, but I just think Burns very strong, very big. We saw them. I mean, he ran through Neil Magny, and Neil Magny's a good grappler. And he's a big welterweight. So yeah, I think the age is a factor as well. I think if you want the best out of Masvidal, you want someone who's going to stand and trade with him, who's going to stay on the feet. I mean, I'm not saying that Masvidal couldn't catch him. He's a tricky striker. He's got lots of things up his sleeves, but I don't see it happening. I think it'll still be even competitive on the feet if it stays there.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Masvidal's a good striker, but he doesn't hit that hard, really.
No. He's an accurate striker. He catches you on the button,
Very competent and, does it well. But I think, like, in terms of, like, natural power, Burns has the advantage in that side of things.
And we saw Jorge got knocked out by Kamaru Usman, who's not technically a very good striker, but he is powerful.
Oh yeah.
So you could even see something like that happening in this.
Absolutely, one. I think this is Burns' fight to lose. Really, it's annoying because, like we were saying off camera, I genuinely would like to see Masvidal versus Leon Edwards in a main event in London, because just to finally put a stamp on that rivalry that started all those years ago with the 3-piece and a soda. But I don't think it's to be.
No, I really don't.
So up next, we're going to run over the rest of the main card, just briefly now. But Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez, potential to be sort of fight of the night, I guess, outside of the main event. Rob Font is a veteran of the bantamweight division, an excellent striker, excellent boxer, has one of the best jabs in the game. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, having come up short against Aldo and Marlon Vera. So very respectable losses there, to be honest. But he's fighting the sort of the next prospect of the 135-pound division, Adrian Yanez, another excellent boxer, on a massive winning streak right now. How do you see this fight playing out?
Yeah, Yanez has got the kind of form going into this one, the youth. You'll be confident, but listen, it's a great test for him. I think you're really you're gonna see how far he's gonna go in this one. I think it won't. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. I think it'll be a bit competitive. We'll get to see a bit more of his skill set and overall his skills as a martial artist. I could see it, Yanez decision, something like that. But how do you see this one?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I really like Rob Font. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
He's a fun fighter and he's got some good wins. Garbrandt, Moraes, Ricky
Simone.
Simone. Simone's
It's a
a
really good
really
win.
that looks great now. And the thing is, like Yanez, his best win is probably Davy Grant. I think I rate Davy Grant quite highly, and he had a competitive back and forth fight with Grant. Um, and then the other ones are Randy Coaster, who has one good round in him before crashing out. He has a great first round in him, but unfortunately that's it. And obviously Tony Kelly, who's since been cut from the UFC. But that did lead to the amazing post-fight celebration that Yanez had after that one, if you remember. I'll put a clip here. But yeah, I favour Yanez, but it's a massive step up.
Yeah, I think we can read a little too much into these kind of like you go like when O'Malley did it when he take he said, oh, they've only fought this but they are very talented and there's a reason why they're being pushed. But he's still getting. He's not. It's not like he's going life or death with these guys. He's knocking them all out. So it's not. It's clearly he's ready for the step up.
Yeah.
Will he come unstuck? I don't know, but it's good. I think it could be. I think it could be a really, really fun one. Lower weight classes, they have the engine and the boxing. It'll just be
Yanez is a black
hopefully a good
belt
one.
as well. Jiu-jitsu black belt. Not many.
Yeah.
You never see it because he's always just like knocking people out, but he is a black belt. So yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Also on this card, I mean, you can never sleep on the Kelvin Holland fight.
No.
He's carrying on in the welterweight division. Obviously, back-to-back losses right now. Khamzat Chimaev and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's facing off against Santiago Ponzinibbio. Pons, since coming back from that really bad sort of injury run he had, he's been like decent, but like not the same
Not the
fighter.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously he's not as young as he once was. He's 36 now. And he's 2-3 in the 5 fights back since injury. Knocked out by the Leech, and then lost split decisions to Jeff Neal and Michel Pereira. Defeated Alex Morono, Miguel Baeza. Basically, just looking at those results on a surface value, he's basically like a fighter who's capable of beating people trying to get to the rankings, but once you fight in the top 15, I think maybe he's just a step behind. He's almost starting to become the new Neil Magny of the division.
Yeah. I think it'll be. Listen, Kevin Holland fights are always fun.
Yeah.
I think who wins? I think Kevin Holland's got the youth and the size, and I think Ponzinibbio didn't look. I wasn't particularly impressed with his last performance, but Kevin Holland doesn't always have the best IQ in terms of fighting. So he's quite a big favorite going into this one.
Maybe a bit wide.
Kind of expect. Yeah, I'd say it's a bit wide, but I expect him to get it done. I think Ponzinibbio's on the slide a little bit. It's a good way to get a nice name on the record, but he hits hard and Kevin Holland can be daft sometimes. So yeah, but I think it can be fun. Holland's also got a decent ground game and stuff like that.
He does.
If it goes there, but
I think
they'll try and keep on the feet.
both statistically and sort of just physically, it's all in Holland's favor. He's 6'3" to Ponzinibbio is 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's got an 81-inch reach advantage to Ponz's 73. He's younger. He's super durable. He's got all these things in his favor, but he might just do something stupid. He might.
Yeah.
You don't know. But I mean, again, this is going to be another fun one. Holland is an entertainer at heart, I think, and Ponzinibbio is a fun fighter as well.
Yep.
So it should be a good one. Just rounding off the main card, then Raul Rosas Jr., the 18-year-old phenom, 7-0, is taking on everyone's favorite Christian Rodriguez. Household name. No, I don't want to be mean to C-Rod, but
Is that what you call him, C-Rod?
That's his nickname.
Close game.
I mean, let's be honest, C-Rod shouldn't be on the main card, and he wouldn't be if it weren't for the fact that he's fighting the youngest fighter on the roster who's got all this Dana White Contender Series hype around him. It's a layup for Rosas. Christian Rodriguez is an okay fighter. I think he's one of like Pettis's prospects. I might be wrong.
Trains out of Milwaukee. I think he trains out of Rufus Sports. So
right. Look, I think Rosas will probably submit him.
Yeah, I think like Rosas is good. I think if it wasn't for the age thing, which it does make it more impressive, he wouldn't be on the main card.
No, no.
And when you look at these kind of fights, you've got to think that they will have favorable matchups. There's a reason why he's fighting Christian Rodriguez, and not being thrown in there with someone else, But I expect him to get the sub. It's a good push for him. I don't really get. I mean, I think Chris Curtis and Kelvin Gastelum should be on the main card. I think it'll be a more fun fight. But I get why they're doing it. He's a good prospect. I don't really know how far he'll go though.
Yeah, the thing is also like, look, I know your favorite fighter, Ian Gary. For context, right? You don't even need context. Just look at his face. But no, but Gary.
No, you don't need context. Just look at his Instagram. That'll tell you everything you need to know about him.
No, but right, Gary is a rising star. He's got more wins. He was a Cage Warriors champion. I think was he 3-0 in the UFC now, but he's still not getting main card slots. So that's what kind of confuses me about Rosas. It's like
he must have some dirt on someone.
He's Dana's son.
He's Dana's bastard son.
Oh Lord. Like I say, it is what it is. Curtis versus Gastelum will be fun as well. It's the feature prelim. Really two durable, technically sound middleweights who probably could both be competing at welterweight if they had a better dietary.
I think they're going to box it out for a bit. I think they're going to stand and bang. I think because Curtis, he's just like, regardless of game plan, he's like, I'm going to come and fight you. And
he's good. Like he does it well.
He's really good. 100%. He's and I think Gastelum's the same. Do you think Gastelum shoots? He better not. It's going to really annoy me if he does.
The thing is, I feel like Gastelum is a really good grappler, but more like when he's on his back. And I'm not saying he's throwing up triangles, but he just knows what to do really well if other people take him down. He might shoot, but like, I don't know. I'm very interested because the thing is, like, Curtis isn't going to finish Gastelum, is he? Like, Gastelum's got one of the best chins.
Yeah.
Like, he's got an insane chin. It's ridiculous. Like, he can get hit by so much and it won't get rocked. If anything, Curtis is probably the less durable out of the two. But I think Curtis probably hits harder. I don't know if Gastelum is going to have that. Curtis really gets into the fight as well. The longer the fight
he's going to get going.
The better he is. So I think it's probably going to be a decision, but I think it's going to be a fun, like, middleweight boxing match.
I think it's going to once it starts heating up. I think it's really going to heat up.
Yeah, mate, isn't it insane that Gastelum is 31 years old?
Is he actually?
What the hell? He should be hitting his prime right now. But
God, I feel bad for him. I actually feel bad for him.
I know.
I don't want either of these guys to lose. I like both of these guys, but one of them's got to lose. but I don't know.
You don't reckon they'd cut Gastelum if he lost? Because that would be like
I think they. Of course, if five was he
1-5.
was he four?
He's 1-4 right now, but he'd be 1-5
Who
if
did
he
he
lost.
last? Who did he like? Is it Ian
Lost.
Heinisch or something like that?
He lost. His last win was Ian Heinisch, yeah, decision win. And Heinisch
Is he
hasn't
even still
competed
in
in
the
like
UFC?
over a year.
Is he injured? I think he's injured, to be fair, but yeah,
Yeah.
I genuinely could see them cutting him. They cut Kevin Lee. They
He's
can
back
cut
though.
Gastelum. I know,
He's
yeah,
back.
but they did cut him though, and he
Yeah,
didn't.
but that
And
was
his
I think
record
that was
wasn't.
I think that was a managerial thing more than anything.
Yeah,
They had some
but
beef.
I've seen them cut. People who
Yeah.
deserve it less than.
They'd probably give him one more, to be fair, against like a no, I know what they would do. They put him up against Bo Nickel. That's what they would do. They feed him to Bo
Oh
Nickel.
God! And then you'd knock out Bo Nickel. Who would you favour? But if Kevin Gastelum and Bo Nickel fought, who would you favour?
I would favour Bo Nickel.
Would you?
I wouldn't. It wouldn't be one of those where it's like Bo Nickel 1400 favorite. But yeah, I'd favour Bo Nickel. He's just a special athlete. Like there aren't many I would not favour Bo Nickel against, to be honest. Like
Really?
maybe
What, even in the top 15? How many of them would be?
Gastelum is top 15. Like Kamzat, I back Kamzat to beat him probably.
Yeah.
Whitaker, I guess.
Whitaker would absolutely annihilate him. He actually would annihilate him.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I reckon Sean Strickland would give him a tough fight. I actually do. I genuinely.
No, do you know what? I could see Sean Strickland just beating him up and just
yeah, just
him,
make
do you know
it.
what I mean? Just stuffing a takedown. He's like, oh no.
Yeah. Just jabbing him for like 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's UFC 287. Some other good fights. Joe Pyfer from the Contender Series, Michelle Watson, the Karate Hotties on there. Everyone's favorite Chase Sherman is fighting. Ignacio Bahamondes is a fun prospect to keep an eye on. It's a fun card, and it's nicely stacked. I feel like it starts off with like some very just basic, fringe UFC fighters, and it goes up nicely. It ramps up towards a brilliant main event rematch.
And they've not put any real stinkers too high up either.
No,
sometimes they do that. They just put this fight on news and like, what are you doing? But there's nothing too bad,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No heavyweights in the main event, which is the most important thing.
Praise the Lord. No, they say that for the
Chase Sherman's getting bumped up.
Imagine. Oh Lord.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, that's it. Check out the channel. We have interviews with the likes of Yanez. Definitely a few more. I interviewed Roberto Soldic recently. So go check that out. We will be back next week with another preview podcast, more content like that. So definitely subscribe. Murdo, where can people find your social media and your work and whatnot?
If you go on Twitter, I'll have some like a personal blog that's coming out soon, so you can see some of my work and that's it really.
Sweet. You find me at Frank Bonada. It's always the same. Tune in next week.